Still today, as they bid farewell to Nosicelo Mtebeni at an official memorial service. The 23-year-old final year law student was murdered and dismembered allegedly by her boyfriend. Her remains were put in a suitcase and left on the street in Quigney in East London. The grotesque murder has shocked the nation and again placed the disturbingly high levels of domestic violence in South Africa into sharp focus. Abongile Jantjies is in East London ahead of the event and he joins us now. Very good morning to you, Abongile. Just give us a sense of occasion where you are.
A very good morning to you, Desiree. The people are starting to make their way inside. The university is aiming to start the memorial service sharply at 10. Well, we're expecting dignitaries at this hall here behind me to make their way, including the family of Nosicelo Mtebeni. Well, as you can see now, some are making their way. The program is a short one. It's expected to take at least 2 hours. With me, I do have the Vice Chancellor of the University of Fort Hare, Professor Sakela Buhlungu. A very good morning to you, Prof. A somber mood indeed. How have the preparations for this memorial service been going now that we're here today?
Thank you very much. Yes, it is a somber day. It's a very, very difficult time for the university community. It's a very difficult time I would say, for people of this country during Women's Month. So on that note, it's very, very sad. But we're trying to be strong so that the family can be strong. I think that if you want to remember someone, you don't want to be weak, you want to be there to be strong, to be there for them. So that's the one thing. As far as the preparations have taken place, I'm very, very pleased that everything is on track. The program is ready, the speakers have arrived, all of them, they are around, so we're not going to have any gaps on the program. And we want to do it in a very dignified way, but in a simple way. Remember, the University of Fort Hare is a home for all. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, and that's the tone and that's the spirit that we want to maintain today for this event.
How have the psychosocial services that you are providing to the students have been going? And let's talk about the effectiveness in them overcoming this ordeal.
Look, what we did, when the incident happened, from the word go, then we deployed psychosocial support personnel on the ground. Specifically, remember, Nosicelo was part of a particular class, a final year LLB class. So the focus started there and then spread. So with our own people, and then as of this past Sunday, Higher Health, the national higher education body, Higher Health, deployed 6 additional professionals. And they are on the ground as well. They are available 24 hours a day for anyone. They're on the call. There's a hotline. So we're very pleased that this now has been kind of rolled out to a much broader constituency. And we are in constant communication with Higher Health, the authorities at Higher Health, and the feedback we're getting is good. I must also say, last night I met the family where they were staying, and there were 2 professionals right there with them that are sitting with them and working with them. One of the things that we were thinking is that this has to be sustained, and of course some of it goes beyond our own mandate, but it has to be sustained to the other end in Matati, because this is going to be heavy on the family.
Okay, as the family, what picture can you paint for us through your engagements with them? What picture can you, as of when you say you met them yesterday, what's the mood like? It's particularly her mother who visited the scene or where her remains were found.
It's a very heavy moment. I mean, I can only say that much, but I have no idea. Neither you, myself, or anybody who has an idea of how deep that hurt is, how deep it goes. But from what I saw and from my interactions with them, it's very deep. And as a result, what we have appealed for, and I will continue to appeal for this, that they need to be given space to grieve. I know we all have our own things, and people want to show it and demonstrate it in different ways, whether it's kind of in spiritual terms or political terms. Yes, that's important, but we need to give them space to grieve. And for us, that's been the most important. That's why they arrived on Sunday, but I did not go to them on Sunday. I deployed staff to look after them make sure that they're comfortable, they rest, and then I only went to see them last night deliberately. And so that's what it is. But they are in grief. The mother in particular, I think she's taking very badly, and that's my impression. And I think she's at that stage at the moment where she needs that private moment, even when she's amongst people. That we shouldn't put microphones in front of her. We shouldn't put cameras in a way that's too intrusive in front of her. We need to give her space. But the father is strong, and she did come through, and she was much more engaging. And then there's 2 other family members who came to support. So far, so good. I think this thing is going to take many months, many years. It's not going to heal just like that. But it's good that they're strong, they remain on their feet.
What's the university's contribution towards her funeral arrangements?
You know what, much as it is tempting for me to kind of give details, and I think, again, out of respect for the family, we're doing it in a very toned down, in a very low profile manner. Okay, and that's all I'm going to say. We're providing as much support as we can within our means. And I mean, the one thing I will say, for example, is that we've been working with SABC in terms of the transportation. Okay, the accommodation the university is taking care of. I'm not going to then move from there, because this is not for it's not for public. At this moment, I think it's not for public sharing. If I hope you understand me.
Okay. Lastly, last week I did a story on accommodation at the university. The Higher Education Minister, Dr. Blade Nzimande, raised concerns about students who are allegedly sleeping on the streets due to lack of accommodation, and he wanted a report from the university. Where is that matter now?
No. I think there's 2 things that are getting conflated here. There's one thing about lack of accommodation, which I must address, and then there's this issue about what the report that the minister wants. Those are separate matters. Now, it's just important that we separate them.
Enlighten me, sir.
Yes. The one about accommodation. In East London, there's no shortage of accommodation. Remember, in East London, the university does not have its own residences, but there are buildings that we lease for purposes of accommodating our students. And that number depends on demand. And East London as a town does not have a shortage of buildings for leasing. There's no shortage. And we are always guided by demand, how much demand there are. Okay. At the moment, we accommodate more than 3,000 students, and that's where the demand is. And we're always ready, at relatively short notice, to expand that number, should there be more demand. So there's nothing like that. There's no demand. There's no people lining up in front of waiting to be accommodated. The issue that the minister is talking about is students who are residing off campus. They're called non-resident students in private accommodation. That is the issue, and it's a separate issue. Much as all I will say is that we are preparing the report. It's almost ready. It will be sent to the minister. But I would rather prefer that we separate the issues. It's exactly the same thing about giving space to Nosicelo and to the family, that we don't then load this day and this event with all of those other things. And in fact, we are on record. We issued a statement 2 days ago clarifying these matters. But this is a different moment.
Okay. I thank you so much, VC, and all the best for today.
Thanks so much.
Well, Desiree, that was the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Fort Hare, Professor Sakela Buhlungu, telling us about the plans that the measures that they are putting in place in order to support the family of Nosicelo Mtebeni. And he says it's all systems go for this memorial service.
Thank you so much. And again, that question we're asking you for the day: what is at the core of gender-based violence? We're asking you to send your thoughts at the agenda _ SABC.